For the start of the play-in and the NBA playoffs, we want to do something here a little bit different because I'll have more reaction on Thursday from the play-in games. So we're all looking forward to those. And instead of just filling out the bracket, where I still always kind of laugh whenever the NFL like posts its playoff bracket, and you're just like, this isn't going to be the same, dude. It's not going to be the same as the NCAA bracket. And so we've done this in the past where we would just draft all the playoff teams and see who had the best chance of, ending up with a champ. But it's just an exercise to kind of talk about the teams again. But I'm going to bring Ceruti in here off the top because I wanted to try to figure something out. We talked this out last night, so it's probably not perfect on the math, but I still think it'll be a fun exercise where we're going to draft the teams, all 10, all right, on each side. So that's 20 teams that we're drafting here. And you get a point for winning the first round, 2 points for getting out of the second round, 3 points for getting out of the conference finals, and then 5 for winning the NBA title. But the bonus here, the incentive to draft potential underdogs, is that you will get bonus points based on the seed differential. If you were, say, a 7 seed beating a 2 seed in the first round, you get 1 point for advancing and then 5 extra points because a 7 beat a 2. So if Dallas beats the Clippers, Dallas is a 5 seed, the Clippers are a 4 seed. Dallas would get a point for winning the first round, and they would get another point for beating a seed that was actually higher than them. So you could get into, well, you should weight it a little bit differently. Hey, man, go nuts. Do your thing. But,
do it on your podcast.
Yeah, right. Do it, whatever you want to do, man. But the way I'm looking at this is I want it to be simple to follow as a podcast segment and then find a way. Because when you really start mapping out your draft board, like if we had just done it straightforward without any bonus points, Rudy, and you're putting together your board, you're going to go Boston, Denver, Denver, Boston. Maybe it's OKC. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of know, oh, cool. You guys did a power rankings, but just drafted it.
Yeah,
the way I looked at it with this, like there's a really good chance we're going to be grabbing teams just based on the potential value of what it would be if just getting a first round upset, especially when you start looking at the potential Lakers matchups, or if you're still buying into Philly with Embiid back, or if you still feel like Miami's just going to flip the switch on. So when I put together the draft board, I'm like, wait, I'm kind of all over the place with this one. So before we get started, where are you?
I have a bunch of tiers. I texted you beforehand. I was like, I wonder if we're going to have similar or different, because I had just basically have a power ranking of how I think my teams will do and then what their point value would be if they go that far. So, I think you're basically just weighing like who are the definites versus who are some of the high upside ones versus like teams that you don't think are going to go far. Like a team that you think that's going to go one round, like win one round and isn't like a huge upset, that team's actually not that valuable at all.
Right. Because like as I was putting it together and trying to put them in order, I was getting to teams I probably didn't think that I would take based on like, man, all you have to do, like you can make up, like say Boston. All right. So Boston's maximum points that they can gain in our system here would be 1 for the first, 2, 3. Then you're at 6, 11 points, right? Yep. If Denver were to beat Boston, that means that they would have 11 points, but plus 1. Say they beat a favorite. If it was OKC Denver, so they get an extra point there. So there's actually a chance where Denver has a path to more points than Boston. But then it becomes far more dramatic. If you had the Lakers in, say, the 1-8, say they lose to New Orleans, then win the next game, and then it's Lakers 1-8, that's 7 points on the bonus plus a point there. And then you're like, okay, so now they have to win Dallas. Like the Lakers might go really high in this exercise, not because you think the Lakers have the third best chance of winning a championship, but you just look at their path and go, that's a lot of potential points there. So let me get a couple of these lottery picks here to mix it up with the teams that I think will go further. So I actually kind of enjoyed it, knowing that there may be something that we discover in the process of doing this where we're like, okay, I wasn't ready for that. And I think there's also a part, as I was thinking about it more this morning, it's like maybe you could have put like 5 points on the conference finals and 7 points for the finals to try to like even out everything. But I don't know. I just like this because I think it's more fun. It incentivizes us maybe taking teams we wouldn't take as early. First pick. Let's see here. Do you have a coin? I was actually looking for a coin this morning and there was no coin upstairs.
How about this? I'm thinking of just 1 or 2. I have one in my head right now.
Okay. I'm going with 2.
That was 1. All right. I'll go first. I actually want to go first. Because all the things that we
Snake
just talked
draft?
about
Kidding.
how, yeah, exactly. All the things we just talked about like high upside teams, pick the Lakers. Oh my god, look at how many points they could potentially accumulate in this. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm still taking Denver one because I think they're going to win the title. And as a 2 seed, I could pick up potentially 2 extra points along the way. That's 13 points, as you said. Worst case scenario, they get to the finals and that's 7, and they maybe lose to Boston, which I don't even think is going to happen. So I still think even though Denver's the 2, I have them as the most valuable team. So I'll go Denver 1.
Okay. That's what I was going to do. I think some people will accuse you of lying, no matter what number I picked. I am not accusing you of lying.
2, I think, is interesting. I think you can go a lot of different directions here.
Well, despite the value of these other options, I want to play it safe with my first pick too, and I'll take Boston.
I did have them too in my power rankings. Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna go third pick. This is where I think it's gonna get weird. I'm gonna take the Mavs. I think there's a good chance. So they're the 5 seed. So they win the first round. That's what they get 1
2
point and then
points.
an extra point for for beating a higher seed. So that's 2 points. And then they can get potentially OKC in the second round. If they win that, that's 8. I think the Mavs, I mean, who knows? Like, could they make a run to the finals? Could they play against Denver, beat Denver? Like, I think they're one of the more high upside teams that's here as a 5 seed. So give me Dallas.
You could argue Dallas should have gone higher because the path is, you can map it out, and then as riding this out as a 5 seed, all the extra points that you'd be getting. Dallas was going to be my pick. So terrific
The thing
preparation.
with Dallas too is they avoid Denver until the conference final based on how the bracket works out. So they're either playing like maybe the Lakers or OKC or the Pelicans. However, I doubt the Pelicans get there, but we'll see. But there's a good chance like they at least probably avoid Denver until the conference finals.
Okay. All right. Now the work starts. So I'm not going to talk it all out here. I'm going to take Phoenix as a 6 seed.
I don't hate it. Had them a little lower, but I don't hate it.
Well, you've got the 6-3 matchup against Minnesota. Excuse me, the 6-3 match. Yeah, 6-3 matchup against Minnesota. And you could go, well, hey, they beat Denver twice. They beat them in overtime up at their place, but then the other game was without Murray. So
that's 4 points
sure
if they win one round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Oof. See, now this Giannis news is really screwing things up. He doesn't look like he's going to be there for at least the first half of the series, maybe the series at all. A lot of people are already picking the Pacers to upset them in the first round anyway, based on how bad and unathletic the Bucks look. But I also don't love the Pacers like upside after just the first round. I'm going to get weird, and I'm just going to take an L here because one of these teams is going to lose. I'm going to take the Clippers. Basically the same logic as Dallas. If like they don't get the point in the first round if they end up beating Dallas, but then I think there's a decent chance that they will give OKC a series or somebody and get to the conference final. If they do that, I'm going to pick up a ton of points. So give me the Clippers. I don't love it, but I think there's value there.
Okay. The Pacers-Milwaukee thing that you just brought up is interesting because even if you were like, well, I don't really love the Pacers, but you would, in our exercise, you would always take the Pacers ahead of Milwaukee. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. If Giannis is back and he's 100% healthy, you're like, look, Milwaukee still is probably whatever hope you're holding on to, but it's not impossible to think about Milwaukee being in the Eastern Conference Finals here.
Exactly.
Right? So I don't think that's any kind of reach whatsoever. So you're like, all right, so I'd be getting points there, even if I don't think that they would beat Boston. But wait a minute. The Pacers could get 4 points with a 6-3 upset against them, and they've won 4 out of 5 against them. So this is where I think I got to go Lakers.
The issue with the Lakers is if I knew they were the 8 seed, I would have taken them higher, but I just don't think they're going to beat Denver. So you're essentially hoping they lose tonight and win, Thursday. And if they upset OKC, that's the best pick in the draft.
That's kind of what it is. And the line is like nothing tonight. So Vegas was not thrown off by Sunday at all with the Pelicans. It's basically a point in this game. So that weighed into the thinking a little bit when I was looking at FanDuel this morning.
Do you
All right,
subscribe? Do you subscribe to the Lakers app? Because I've seen this floating around that the Lakers actually should want Denver in round one because that's the best chance they're going to have to beat Denver.
No, I don't.
You'd rather just get them in the conference final if you can.
Maybe if Denver were this new thing and you weren't sure. Bill's always kind of big on that. And there's been times I've agreed with Bill on it, but I just don't think it's a blanket scenario of, yeah, you just always, whoever's really good, you always want them early. I don't know. Why don't I play somebody that I think I match up with better and then see if we're propelled to another level just based on our confidence here. All right, so we're 6 picks in.
All right, I think I have to take either the Bucks or the Pacers here. And it's really difficult because I do think there is some upsides that we just talked about with the Bucks potentially making the conference finals. And I don't think I think if the Pacers win in round one, I don't think they're winning in round two. Give me the Pacers because I want to root for them. So give me the Pacers. So basically, I just need, if they win in their first round, I get 4 points, and that's a huge win. But there's likely no upside after that.
Okay, I'm going to go back to stability. I'm going to take OKC.
Okay.
Just to be
not
like,
a lot of points on the board for them, though.
That's all right. What if they make it to the finals?
Yeah. I don't know, because basically, what, 1, 2, 3. So their max is 6 points if they make it to the finals.
Yeah, because it'd be a one. Well, whoever
1, 2, and 3 for each round. Yeah.
Right.
Man, does that lock me in? Do I have to take the Bucks now? I have two teams where have teams playing each other, but I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I'm gonna do it.
Big hedge guy.
As a 3 seed, if they win in round one, they get a point. Yeah. But if they beat the Knicks in the second round, that's another 3 points. And who knows? If Giannis gets healthy and weirder things have happened, I still like their upside, so I'll take the Bucks.
Okay, give me Golden State.
Wow. See, I basically have them off my board almost.
Really?
I just don't. I think they might lose tonight. I get it because again, if they win one series, if they beat OKC, and sure they can go up and down with OKC, I wouldn't pick it, but they could. Then the pick is worth it. But I don't see it.
That dismissive of the Warriors with all those extra points. Okay, would you have taken Sacramento?
No, I have Sacramento basically almost last.
Okay,
but I have the Warriors 16th in my power rankings. Okay, all right. So who's still on the board here? So we still have the Heat, the Sixers, my Magic are still on the board, T-Wolves, Cavs. Give me. I'm gonna take the Knicks because I think it's just easy points. They're likely going to be in the conference final.
Okay, great. I need Philly to win the play-in game for this pick to work. Because if it's the 1-8, then it's over. I don't see it happening. But
if Embiid was healthy, if that Magic injury didn't happen, I would have taken them a lot earlier.
Yeah, I think some people would have already taken him by now just based on the point part of it. But they beat Miami. They're in the 7-2. Embiid plays. They beat the Knicks. Not impossible. Extra points. And then you're looking at the other side of the 3 matchup, and it might be the Pacers. Philly should have gone higher in this. But the Embiid part of it, you're right. If you want to go that way with it and have doubts. But I'm really happy you took New York.
I'm happy you took the Sixers because I'll take the Heat. I think I'd rather have them than the Sixers.
Okay.
No matter who they're playing.
Give me Minnesota.
Good pick. Although actually, I don't know. I think you have to do it, but I don't think it's one of those ones where there's just, because they're the 3 seed, there's just not a ton of upside.
But what if it ends up being 2-3 against Denver? They get an extra point there, pull the upset off.
Yeah.
Well,
this worked out perfectly because I'm going to take the Magic. If they win the first round series, they get 2 points.
All right, I'll take New Orleans.
Okay. So we still have Cavs, Kings, Bulls, Hawks. So basically nothing. So let's make this quick. I mean, I don't think the Bulls and the Hawks have any chance, so I'll just take Sacramento.
I think that's the move.
Although you could have said I probably should have taken the Cavs, but I don't want to do it on principle.
Well, I'm taking the Cavs, and if you had taken the Cavs, I would have taken Sacramento, because then you're left with, you're going to take Chicago, and I'm going to take Atlanta, and that's a wrap.
There you go. All right, we will update this as we go. I think
it went a few different ways. You don't like my draft.
Phoenix way higher
than your face.
You had Phoenix way higher than me. I think I love getting the Mavs third. The problem is I have two series that are playing each other, so I'm losing. Although who knows? Like, a lot of these teams are going to lose in the first round anyway.
I think the Mavs pick. There's an argument to be said that if I had gone first, would you have taken Dallas? If I had taken Denver first, would you have taken Dallas second?
I think I would have taken. I think I would have still taken Boston. So you probably would have ended up with both.
Yeah, the 1-2 guess sent me on a path I wasn't expecting, because I was thinking about taking Dallas with the second pick, but then I was like, all right, give me some automatic points here. So I have a lot of lottery tickets here with Golden State, the Clippers, and New Orleans, and Atlanta, by the way. That should count as a 10 seed, even though they're the 8 seed, just 9 bonus points.
Oh, I did. I have it counted. If the 10 seed somehow does it, like if Golden State gets in, they're technically still the 10 seed though. Like they are. That's where they finish in the standing. So I have the points. I think that should be how the points are counted.
I don't know. I don't think we agreed on that before.
All right, TBD. We'll determine that if Golden State gets in, we'll figure it out.
Okay. And Windhorst also suggested maybe Giannis could leave. We'll do more on that next week.